What's up guys, it's Filtra here and today I had an awesome idea. So this will be One Piece versus Naruto. You know, the Naruto characters, not Naruto himself. But we will be talking about East Blue against Chunin exams characters. From East Blue I didn't take anyone that didn't fight in the arc. And from Chunin exams I didn't take the Hokage or like Kakashi and stuff. Because I feel like it would be a bit pointless. I feel like, you know, Kakashi, well, he's not like extremely strong. He would obviously beat like East Blue characters fairly easily. Say they don't really have any hacks abilities. They don't have any ways to counter his abilities. So I decided to leave them out and just everyone who fought, and I will randomly pick one of them, and I will imagine like how their fight will be playing out or would play out, and like the loser, you know, dies. Unfortunate. Even though like most of these characters normally wouldn't kill their enemies, you know, I'll just say like, no, they got possessed, now they just have to fight to kill. Of course, like they will fight like themselves, like Luffy is still going to be stupid, Naruto is still going to be stupid. If Zoro gets locked in some kind of a maze, he's not going to escape. You know, things like these are going to stay the same. Oh. Oops. Things like these are not going to change. So let's just get into the video. My eyes are closed now. Now they are actually. Okay. So I have Shikamaru against Mochi and Richie. So Mochi and Richie the lion tamer against Shikamaru, the man with 200 IQ. Okay, so let me think. Shikamaru only has his shadow position at this point. He can't really do anything else. And with his shadow position, he has his physical abilities and kunais as well. But I feel like they are not going to be effective on Richie. Richie is too big unless he hits him a bit in the eye. But I feel like Richie would be able to dodge that. And Shikamaru can only possess one person, I think. So if he possesses like Richie, then Mochi can, you know, come at him and take him out. And if he possesses Mochi, Richie can just bite him to death. And even if like we take Richie out of the picture, you might think Mochi is a scrub. Yes, he is a scrub, but for example, he was thrown into the wall and the wall cracked and he didn't. And later on we see in a fight that he is able to fight with Kabachi relatively evenly after their weapons are destroyed. So his hand-to-hand combat is definitely better than Shikamaru's, because Kabachi can definitely like take out like normal people, normal ninja, if it like went to like hand-to-hand fighting. So I think it's a pretty easy wrap. Shikamaru, I don't think he has anything in his arsenal that he can use to strategize against Mochi. Of course he could like win with some kind of a fluke, but I think Shikamaru would lose this pretty easily. Okay, second character. Okay. So I have Kin. If you don't remember, it's the one member of the Sound Ninjas, I think, who went to fight, and she lost to Shikamaru when she hit her head into the wall because of Shikamaru's shadow possession. And she's fighting against Nami, which is probably pretty good for both of these characters, as you know, they are not obviously very strong. And yeah, it's Nami from East Blue, so she doesn't have the climb attack, she just has the stuff. And if I remember correctly, Kin was the one who uses Genjutsu to immobilize the opponent and then, like, you know, defeat them that way. Nami would probably be able to dodge her kunais. I don't think Nami is that weak. I don't think, because Kin is not strong, she's not going to throw them at Nami in a way that she wouldn't be able to dodge or block. So I mean, Nami is not that weak, right? Nami is stronger than a normal person, definitely, at the start of the series. And she's very agile. So actually, I think in hand-to-hand combat, I think Nami is fairly strong. Stronger than Kin, because from Kin we have seen nothing impressive. She was just scrubbed. And when she got hit by, I think, Dosu, you know, when they were fighting in the forest, and like she got possessed by Dosu hit her and she was like, almost killed, very wounded from that. And I think Nami wouldn't take that much damage from it. I mean, One Piece characters in general are more durable. But the thing is, I feel like Kine's Genjutsu would incapacitate Nami. I don't think Nami would have a way to escape that, really. So, because of that, I think Kin would, after like a few minutes, like eventually get Nami into her Genjutsu and like slit her throat or something. So, Nami loses this one. Okay, next character. It's Oboro, if you remember correctly, the one that uses the clones and Genjutsu as well to trap people and make them think that they are advancing, but really they are walking in circles. So he would be very efficient against Zoro. But considering who's against him, I don't think he has a chance because it's Mihawk. So against Mihawk, I think Oboro is getting butchered. There's no point even talking about it. Even if he gets like the Genjutsu of Mihawk has very good observation haki, I think it would be like with Itachi, like the Genjutsu of this level does not affect me. So Oboro, I'm sorry, you are fucked. Actually, let me remove Mihawk. I think it's kind of cheating. He could beat all of the characters here like without his sword at the same time. So I'm just going to pick another One Piece character. There are more One Piece characters anyway. And Oboro will stay here. Okay. Oboro against Tashigi. So in terms of hand-to-hand combat, Oboro is seen using the kunai against Sasuke, but he is overwhelmed by Sasuke actually. So his hand-to-hand combat is kind of trash. And Tashigi is obviously not very strong, but she has the sword. And when she was introduced, she defeated two like really big men, like 4 meters tall, in one strike. Effortlessly, even though they looked pretty well trained. They were like pirates, so because of that, I think Oboro doesn't really. He can definitely like trap cut Tashigi for some time, but she's going to eventually escape because Tashigi is not very stupid. She's just kind of stupid. And when it comes to Oboro's clones, I think Tashigi has enough stamina to take them out and defeat him. So I think Tashigi defeats Oboro pretty easily, and Oboro is now eliminated. I mean, he should have been anyway because I drew the Mihawk with him, but alright, next one. Okay, Kabuto from the exam against Buggy. So let's think. I'm going to assume Kabuto is the same Kabuto, I don't think he got like significantly stronger like before he went to fight Tsunade, and he's against Buggy. So kunais are obviously not going to be effective against Buggy, but Kabuto can use other techniques to fuck with you. I don't remember like how many of them we have seen, like which he has, but he could like restructure the nerves, and I think it would be effective against Buggy. Although it would be kind of hard to hit Buggy because he has the Devil Fruit to dodge around. And the sneak attacks are pretty strong from Buggy as well. So, but still, I think Kabuto would be able to incapacitate Buggy because he doesn't rely on cutting attacks. So, I think Buggy is pretty soundly defeated. I have a difficult time imagining how this fight would go. I just feel like it would continue like a minute and Kabuto would screw Buggy enough so that he wouldn't be able to move anymore, and maybe he would like punch him unconscious or something. So I think Kabuto wins. I think he's probably like the strongest from the Chunin exams, pretty much. Next one. Netsi against Kuro of 100 Plants. So this is a relatively interesting one. So Netsi has the 64 palms, so if Kuro like tried to fight him like close, I think Kuro would definitely lose. But Netsi has a major problem with his speed. Kuro would be able to use the movement ability. By the way, he basically uses the CP9 technique, Soru. He has like a bad version of that, so he's able to easily outpace Netsi because Kuro was fast enough to dodge a bullet. I think Netsi is getting like he's going to go in there. Like maybe Kuro is going to be overconfident and not use his ability and like stop like behind Netsi to like threaten him or something. And then Netsi might get a few chakra hits. But I don't think that's good enough to incapacitate Kuro. And after that Netsi is going to get carved up because after Kuro starts using his technique, he's going to slice everywhere, and Netsi doesn't have a way to protect himself from that. Although he will be able to see Kuro, and he might be able to like wound him a bit, like maybe throw a kunai in the right direction, but I don't think that's good enough to take him out, and Kuro has a lot more attack capacity. And I mean, Netsi has like the rotation to protect him, but it's from like weaker, longer range attacks. I don't think it's good enough to stop like a hand full of like long swords like striking like this at him. So Netsi is definitely dying, so Netsi is eliminated. Kuro remains. Next one. Tenten against Alvida. And this is Alvida before she ate the Sube no Mi. I mean, of course, I could maybe it could be Alvida who ate the Sube no Mi. That devil fruit in particular would kind of defeat Tenten because Tenten uses the projectiles, and Alvida would be immune to like the small projectiles. They would like slide off her, so she wouldn't get cut. So in that sense, I think she would have an advantage. But Tenten is a lot faster. Tenten is kind of useless, but in this matchup, I don't think Alvida is able to catch up to her because Tenten can jump really high, she can use the techniques. And before Alvida ate the devil fruit, she was way too fat. She would be kind of clumsy and would like get like showered with projectiles until she falls. So in that sense, I think Alvida is eliminated. Tenten wins. Next fight. Yoroi against Hachan. So Yoroi is the one who fought Sasuke, if I remember correctly, and he can chuck out the chakra if he gets to touch. And Hachan is the octopus with 6 arms. So I think Yoroi doesn't have a chance in this fight. He would be more effective against someone who has 2 hands, but Hachan has 6. And he's an octopus, he's very strong. He would be able to easily crush Yoroi if he tries to chuck the, I guess in One Piece it would be like the haki out of him or whatever. So I think Hachan wins easily. I didn't even mention his swords that are apparently 300 kilograms heavy, each one of them, which he has 6 of. So just one strike from them, it would easily overwhelm Yoroi, and he will get thrown out, knocked unconscious. Even if he gets hold of Hachan, I think Hachan has the advantage because he can just, completely crush him, and even more, he could hold both of Yoroi's hands and still have 4 more hands to hit him over and over. So Yoroi is easily defeated. Next one. Hinata against Captain Morgan. So this one might be a very interesting one. Hinata is basically Netsi, but she doesn't have the rotation and she's a bit slower and stuff like that. And Captain Morgan has the really big axe. So in terms of strength, obviously Captain Morgan is stronger, but I think he's not fast enough to take out Hinata, and her technique would allow her to slowly whittle him down and make him weaker, and every strike he would get slower, and then he would eventually puke up blood and collapse, and Hinata would win this. Of course, if Hinata gets hit, or if Captain Morgan gets his hands on her, she is immediately defeated, but I don't think that's going to happen. So in that case, I think Hinata wins this mid-diff, I guess, because she could definitely lose, but I think she's more likely to win. So Captain Morgan is eliminated. Next one. Tsurugi against Sam and Butchi. So, I decided to combine Sam and Butchi because they fight together, obviously. And Tsurugi is, by the way, the one who fought Kankuro and could turn his arms like a snake. I think it's kind of similar to what Luffy can do, but obviously Luffy can do much more than outside of just that. So Against Sam, it might be kind of effective. I think Tsurugi could probably hold Sam in place. Sam wasn't very strong. But against Butsi, Butsi was very fat and was very muscular as well. So he would be able to free himself pretty easily, I think. And when they're fighting together, obviously this guy doesn't have a chance because he doesn't have offensive techniques. He just acts like a snake. He's like a snake basically. Just that. So Sam and Butsu win this easily. I don't have the motivation to talk about this guy. He's kind of boring. Next one. Rock Lee against Jeff. So I think Rock Lee kind of dominates this even without using his gates or dropping the weights. Maybe he needs to drop the weights because he's not that fast, and Jeff is very good at, like, technically. I think technically Jeff is stronger as a fighter, but Rock Lee has more speed, more dexterity, probably more strength too, to be honest. So I think Rock Lee takes this. We haven't seen Jeff fight much. We see that he can we kick hard enough to extinguish like the flaming pearl, stat pearl through at him. But that doesn't really matter against Rock Lee. He doesn't use kunais. He doesn't rely on them. Maybe Jeff would be more effective against Tenten, but I don't think that actually helps a lot. So yeah, I think Rock Lee wins. Next one. Sino against Django. So both of these guys rely on trickery. So Sino wants to make you get hit by the bugs, and then the bugs can absorb your chakra as well. And Django can hypnotize you and throw the chakrams at you. So Django's chakrams, I don't think they are too effective. I think Sino would be able to block them, even though Sino is not very strong physically. I think he's still good enough to, like, not get hit by because Django is strong, but he's not that strong. He's not going to throw the kunai, or his chakrams, like, in an extraordinarily strong way. Likewise, I don't think Sino would be able to throw his kunais strong enough to take out Django from afar. Django is pretty physically strong, even though he doesn't look like it. And when we see him in Syrup Village, he doesn't really fight physically, but still he is. He was able to take out Nami, I guess. But in Marineford we saw him again, and during La Pasta, when he was introduced as a Marine, he and Full Body together took out an entire ship of pirates. So I think he's physically stronger than Sino, but I think Sino is going to win because Sino isn't going to get fooled by Django's hypnotism, and if Django puts himself to sleep, Sino has the perfect chance to use his bugs and really fuck him up. So Sino wins, Django is eliminated. Next one. Oh yeah, and that fight could go the other way too if he gets hypnotized, and in that case Django is just going to kill him. Dosu against Smoker. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to pretend like the Genjutsu, you can escape that with observation haki, and the Logias, you can hit them with your jutsus. So I'm going to say Dosu is able to hit Smoker, but to be fair, it doesn't matter because Smoker was faster, more durable, stronger, and had a better weapon than Luffy when they fought. In Lockdown, it was completely effortless for Smoker. He made Luffy look like a joke. So Dosu would be immediately just dusted. I think Dosu would probably get one shot, and he would also not have any ways of escaping if Smoker did the white bind or whatever. Like if he used the smoke to bind Dosu in place to maybe hit him after. And even if Dosu does get hit on Smoker for some reason, with the using the sound as a surprise, he could definitely make his ears bleed and disorient him a bit. But because of his nature as a Logia, I think he would be able to protect his ears a lot better than Kabuto would. And yeah, I think Smoker wins this no diff. Dosu gets murdered, he gets in the story himself. Originally. Next one. Temari against Kabachi. So Temari has... This is actually a very good matchup for Temari because Kabachi relies on the dust, the smoke, and the darts or tops that he throws at his opponents. And Temari can knock all of them away. She can also knock away his like fire breathing. And in terms of like swordsmanship, I don't think Kabachi is fast enough to catch up to Temari, and Temari can use like the slicing winds or whatever to slice him up eventually. I think Kabachi could potentially get to like hand-to-hand combat range, but Temari is decently capable at that. She has the hurting, whatever it's called, and that it's made of metal. It can be used to block blades, and I think Kabachi would be defeated pretty easily. So Temari wins. Next one. So Sasuke against Jin. So let's see. I think I'm going to use the Sasuke that after he learned Chidori. I think it makes sense. I think it would be a bit fucked up to use him at the start of the Chunin exams because he got a lot stronger during that time with the curse mark and stuff. But I don't think he can use the curse mark yet. So in terms of physical, like hand to hand, of course One Piece characters are almost always going to win unless they are way weaker, because Naruto characters more rely on like techniques. So Sasuke has the fire breathing, for example. That's pretty good. But I think Gin would be able to like spin his balls hard enough to like block it, or maybe like dodge out of the way, jump out of the way. And if Gin gets to hit Sasuke like with one attack with those balls, he can easily knock Sasuke out with one attack. So I think if Sasuke gets hit, he's fucked. But on the opposite side, if Sasuke gets like the Chidori onto Gin, Gin is going to die. Gin is just a normal guy basically, so a very strong normal guy. He doesn't have anything special and he's not very durable. So I think Sasuke wins if he gets the Chidori. But let me think. Gin was pretty fast. He was able to keep up with Sanji, but Sasuke copied Rock Lee's speed, so he can use that with the combination of the Chidori to like surprise attack and to take out Jin, I think. So I think Sasuke wins this matchup, but I think Gin would overall be like stronger. But just because he gets taken out with one attack, I think he loses. Oh yeah, and he's going to have a hard time deflecting the kunais because yeah, he has the balls. Those are kind of not very light. Okay, next up, Zoro against Naruto from the Chunin exams. So Naruto can make like 1,000 clones if he gets the Ninetales chakra, and I mean, Naruto is pretty stupid. If Naruto like tries to fight Zoro hand to hand, like like an idiot, like gets close to him, like Zoro is going to kill him immediately. I don't think Naruto is anywhere fast enough, and he doesn't have the jutsu to avoid this. So if they get too close enough, Zoro will eliminate him with one attack. And let me think. Naruto, obviously the kunais are not going to work on Zoro. He's very good at, like, we see him deflecting like bullets even all the time. So I think that's a bit fucked for Naruto. He doesn't have the Rasengan yet, so I don't think he has the offensive capability to actually hurt Zoro. I think he could definitely like take a lot of time, but like Zoro has insane endurance, so he could keep on cutting the like shadow clones over and over and over until Naruto is eventually defeated. So Naruto is the main character. Let me think. The summoning jutsu. If he could summon Gamabunta somehow, of course that could be good against Zoro. I don't think Zoro, because he hasn't learned how to cut metal yet at this point, I don't think Zoro would be able to cut Gamabunta's skin at all, and that way Naruto would win. But I don't think Naruto would ever get to that point, and in Naruto they usually don't fight normal sized people with them like big power-ups. So I'll say that Zoro wins this. Maybe I'm a bit biased, but I think Naruto at this point isn't very strong. I know he defeats Gaara, but that's with Gamabunta. I'm taking advantage of that. Next one. Gaara against Chu. So Chu, he's the fishman that shoots out the water bullets. Gaara is a very bad matchup for him, because Gaara has the sand to protect him, so he doesn't even need to react. Also, Gara is not like smoke crocodile, so water is not his weakness. He can still move his sand even if it gets wet. Chu, I'm sorry, but you are going to get killed. Also, Chu is not strong enough to block like Gara's like crushing attacks at all, so I think Chu dies. I'm sorry, Chu. Chu, you do not stand a chance. Chu would probably like try to punch Gara and he would get blocked. I think Chu isn't even stronger than Rock Lee without with the weights, and he's definitely not faster than him. So yeah, he's fucked. Also, he doesn't know really how to do hand-to-hand combat very well.